Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. As always, another stream for you. If you guys are looking at any charts, trading ideas, let us know. Drop it down in the chat. If you haven't checked out the Elevating Trades Discord channel, make sure you go do that as well. Link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat. Join discussions, chat with other traders, including myself, join a growing community. If you are looking for that, check it out. And of course, you can find out more about the firm and of course your discount code for your next Elevating Traders Challenge. But guys, welcome back to the stream. Hope everyone's well. FX Wolf, good morning. What's up? Welcome. Tashi, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Check out your yen. We will take a look. We'll go through all the yen pairs. Do not worry. They're the most interesting currency pairs right now, in my opinion. So a lot of my focus is to do with the yen pairs. CS Integrated, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Annie, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Ben, good morning. Stream again. Well, regardless, I'm still there. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. What's up, Empower? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, I'll go through USD markets first, and then I'll go through some requests, and we'll go through some yen pairs shortly afterwards. But it's been an interesting week, of course. Yes, they didn't see much movement, but today we have seen a bit of movement. In fairness, and overall, it does look like USD is pretty weak, and we are rejecting such a big level in higher time frames. We had a mini breakout last week, but it was never confident, never really cleared that level by much. I was always a bit skeptical, and now it looks like we're getting a very strong bearish engulfing candle for this week's candle. And as long as we don't do anything drastic in the next 12 hours, 13 hours before that candle does close, we're probably going to close bearish. And I would expect now the following week, so next week, to see a continuation of that. We might see a pullback first half of the week and the continuation of the rest. But I do think we can see probably another bearish candle next week as well if we do close something similar to how we're looking. But dropping down to the 4-hour chart, I have kind of got the breaker structure I've been looking for. Price has broken through this low here on the left. So now that price has done that, I am looking for a pullback and some more downside. So I'm looking for that first lower high and then a push down. Let's make sure we can see that. There we go. I'm looking for that first lower high, push down, and of course that will create that right shoulder of that left head and shoulder pattern. So you got the left over there, you got the head over there, and of course potentially your right shoulder forming. So the idea with USD is I'm expecting a lot more weakness, and now that we've got the breaker structure, I'm looking for a pullback and a continuation. So across the board for the USD pairs, I do think we can push higher. In terms of targets, I'm looking at push back to this high here at least, which we almost actually made. And I do have this area here, which I'm looking at as well. So 105,400 first area I'm targeting, then 104,500 basically the second area. But yeah, I want to see a pullback first because we've seen some nice breaker structures across the board. I don't think Euro USD's done the move, but I'm pretty sure Pound USD has. So yeah, Euro USD hasn't quite broken the highs yet. It's almost there. But still a little bit corrective. So it would be nice if Euro can actually go and break the highs, see a nice candle closure above them, and then we can look for the pullbacks. Basically, the inverse of what the DXY is doing, the opposite of what DXY is doing. But this is what I'd be interested on. Pound USD, which we'll get to, has kind of done it very, very well. But if Euro could break the high, then pull back, I think we could be onto a really nice trade. Again, it's a similar situation, trading at a massive swing low. As you can see, price is rejecting it. There's a possibility for a big push to the upside here as well. So if USD is going to be weak, we're going to push away from that 107,200 level. And of course, we're going to see Euro USD, Pound, Aussie dollar, all those pairs likely make some moves to the upside in relation to that. So I'm expecting Euro to push up. Again, the same corresponding areas. Lovely support here. Looking for price to go and retest that around 1.07. And this level here as well, around 1.07700, just below 1.08. It's kind of where I'm expecting Euro to push into. So this is the setup I'm after with Euro USD. Nice head and shoulder pattern or inverse head and shoulder pattern. Left head, right shoulder. this is where I would like to find the opportunities, and also lines up really well with that weekly level as well. If I add that into the market and drop back to the 4-hour chart, you can see a retest there would be a great place for an entry, stop loss below, and see if we can take it back to the highs, and maybe further as well. Because if we are going to really reject this level, who knows how far we could really push. But that is the setup I'm interested in with euros. Not quite there yet. Of course, the setup for next week. As I said, pound USD looks a lot better because I'm pretty sure we, just about spiked through the highs. It would be nice if you saw a stronger candle closure. That was actually a pretty big pullback there. But pound USD has made that move to the upside as well, and you can see a similar pattern forming. You got the left over here, you got the head over there, and of course potentially right shoulder, looking for a correction and the continuation to the upside. And then I'm looking at these areas here for some shorts around 1.285. So possibly some nice buys maybe for the next week, maybe the week after a little bit, and then we speak about some shorts, some sells later on. At the moment, this is still in bullish territory. I wouldn't be looking to sell just yet, especially with that big move this morning, especially with USD looks like we might be seeing some weakness there too. So if you look for some longs, I think pound USD does look good. 1.261 would be the area I would anticipate some upside from. So I would want to see price retrace, make that move down, look for some entries in that area. And if things look good, find some trades, and hopefully we can swing it back to the 1.285 level. And then from there, we can probably speak about some shorts for us to come right back down again, because there's still a lot of bearish momentum in the market. We're just coming to some areas where you do expect to see a bounce, not necessarily price completely reverse, although that could be the case, but we'll believe it when we see it. But for now, still looking at shorts around 1.285 as well. But that's kind of the setup I'm interested in with pound USD. And in terms of some of the other USD pairs, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, not really too interested in them. Aussie dollar, I did say I like the buys down here at 0.64. If price was to have another move back down to the low, would be interested in some buys. But of course, price is not quite doing that just yet. And if USD is going to be weak, then it's going to be pretty difficult for Aussie dollar to make that move down. To me, it looks like price is kind of just consolidating right now. So it's kind of just, waiting for a catalyst to get the ball rolling. Whether it is going to break to the upside or see that one more move down I'm looking for is yet to be known. And if it does make that move down, I will look for some opportunities. If not, I'm not really interested in Aussie because it's just above a critical level. So it wouldn't make sense for me to be looking for any swings from this area unless we do come back and test some key significant level of support around 0.64. So Aussie dollar, I want to see one more push down. And then hopefully we can speak about some buys soon afterwards. In terms of NZD-USD, this one I think is kind of left. This one's already seen some upside. It came back into a really nice swing low a few days ago, maybe at the start of the week. Nice bounce off that area, and since we've been looking pretty bullish since then. Unless you jumped into a trade when that happened, it'll be a little bit difficult to find some buys. At the moment, we're kind of stuck as we come back into the swing high here. I do think, again, for New Zealand dollar, the bigger move is to the upside as well. But in terms of finding a buy, this is not really where I want to be looking for my entries. Preferably, I want price to come back down, possibly put a double bottom in, and then I look for some more opportunities. Or if we have a big break of structure, could consider some pullbacks slightly higher up for some longs as well. That's going to take a lot of energy for us to see. And at the moment, don't really have that just yet. So out the USD pairs so far, I think pound USD buys look really good because that one's kind of had a strong move and looking for some pullbacks there as well. Dollar CAD, this one's slowly pushing down, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, slowly pushing down. The market's quite tight. It's still in bullish territory, so I wouldn't be looking to sell. But if dollar CAD is going to keep pushing down and price does break that structure, basically this swing low here at 1.392, that would make me pretty bearish on dollar CAD. I mean, I'm pretty bearish on USD anyway, but I can't be looking to short dollar CAD just yet as we approached this swing low. This is where we consolidated and a lot of bullish momentum came from. So not the best location to be selling into. But if we can break through that, invalidate that area, then the pullbacks afterwards look really good and could be seeing a lot of downside for dollar CAD because this market is still very stretched. And if it is a big fake out on the weekly chart, price is just faking the highs here, grabbing liquidity and potentially getting ready for a big move down. And of course, there could be some really nice sells, soon after that. So the key thing I'm looking for is the break of structure there for dollar CAD, and then we can speak on the sells. In terms of gold and silver, not much has happened with these guys. Gold's slowly climbing higher. Not really interested in gold. I mean, if you're looking for some intraday shorts, this is not a bad area for it. As price came back into this area of supply, we consolidated here or saw a minor move up on the lower time frames, and of course, a really strong move to the downside from that area. So naturally, this could be a nice play for a short and for a push down. Just I'm not very bearish on dollar on gold. After that big move to the upside last week, breaking structure as well, doesn't give me confidence of looking for shorts. In fact, it invalidates my short idea altogether. If price was still respecting that high, then yeah, maybe, but not a big fan of the shorts longer term. In terms of the area we're coming into, it's nice, strong push down, a lot of momentum in that move, and now we're nicely correctively moving back to that area. So in terms of the impulse correction, it's pretty textbook, to be honest. That's kind of what conditions or characteristics you want to see in your impulse legs, and those are the type of characteristics you want to see in your pullback. So that's really nice and tidy, but I don't expect it to go too far. Because of that break of structure there. So it might be a nice trade back into some areas down here, lock in some gains, and maybe to the low here if all goes well. And of course, maybe we do swing back down to the low. We don't have a crystal ball, but I would be a bit careful since we did break the highs there last week. So that isn't such a positive sign that we're gonna really sell off. So I would watch out for areas around 2640, and of course definitely low there 2600 as well, as that does line up pretty nicely with some support on the left over here. So I'd watch out for that. But yeah, gold coming to a nice place for short, probably more intraday or intra-week opportunity. In terms of silver, this one again, still bullish on, but I don't really have a buy set up, which I'm willing to take yet. I'm still kind of waiting to see if we can get back above the swing high here, which will take some time, but I think that's still the better opportunity. And if we can get back above that level, there's a pretty good chance of coming back into the high there at 34.8. So if we can climb back above the high, look for some retest, that'll be a really nice opportunity to look for. And I think we'll go a lot further than that. So it's one which I'll be pretty aggressive with trading stops. Not in terms of aggressively trading, but in terms of giving myself a lot of space to work with because it could be a big winner. But at these prices, not really interested. I already had one attempt, didn't really see much momentum. Possibly we are going to, but this is the next best trade for me. So that's what I'll be waiting for. In these prices, not really too interested. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Overall, looking for USD weakness. So gold, silver, expecting upside. USD pairs, expecting upside. Dollar CAD, we might see a break of structure. We'll go take a look at dollar CHF as well. This one looks like it's slowly getting to that. This is our swing low, which gave us that push to the upside. Looks like price is teasing the idea of breaking that low, breaking that structure. If you do see a nice move to the downside, that will open up the door to some nice sells on dollar CHF as well. And we are coming to a relatively nice area on the weekly chart, which is, again, this area of supply here where the market stopped for a few weeks, and we had a really big sell to the downside. So naturally, we're seeing a reaction to that as well. More of a choppy pair, not necessarily free flowing, but 4-hour chart looks like we're reversing as well. So there might be a nice bearish leg to take advantage of there as well in dollar CHF. So really looking for USD weakness. That's really the plan for me. Let's see if that really does come into play. I think we have some CAD news later. I'm not too sure about USD. But yeah, DXY not giving me a lot of confidence at that 107 area. So looking for some downside. What's up, Jay Fenno? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, Pavanator? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Nice. Took advantage of Black Friday. Congratulations. Looking good. Yeah, TradingView is a really nice platform, to be honest. Very, very good platform. So, if you're Looking for a good platform to not necessarily trade, but at least for analysis. It's a good platform to invest in. Good morning, Michael. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, William? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, dollar CHF. We just had a look at that one. Ahmed, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Right back at you. Pavinator, what is up? Looking for an entry in Aussie dollar. Okay, we'll go through that. Yes, Ahmed, we'll go through the M pairs. Let me just take a look at Aussie dollar for Pavinator. So you said you're looking for an entry at 0.62773. Okay, I remember you mentioned a buy opportunity like maybe a couple of weeks ago now, actually. 62773. I guess roughly around there-ish, if I read that correctly. Okay, still waiting on that. Yeah, I mean that's okay, so basically looking for price to come back into the low here. Yeah, that's the thing about looking at the high time frames and looking for bigger swings in the market. It sometimes does take some time to develop, especially if price consolidates on you for a few days as well. Yeah, sometimes it does take time to develop, which is why people are so attracted to the lower time frames because everything's a bit more fast paced. You get your opportunities quicker, you take wins quicker, you take losses quicker as well. So you don't have to wait too long to take the loss too. But yeah, if you got the patience for it, especially if you've got a lot of things going in your life at the moment, a lot of other commitments, higher time frames can be very beneficial. But yeah, that's definitely one of the downsides of using higher time frames. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a nice place for a long as well. Coming back into the swing low, I like to see a bounce. I do think the bigger move for New Zealand dollar will eventually be to probably come back to the COVID lows down here, but that could be a long, long way away. So I'm not going to speak about that too much. But in terms of solid areas where we can at least see a bounce, 0.63 is a very logical place, really strong move to the upside. And judging how the price is moving, the condition of the market, we are very choppy. We seem to be bouncing and respecting resistance and support very well. So there's a good chance we probably will see a bounce. Of course, we'll see how price reacts when we get there. I wouldn't suggest buying straight away. But if there's some nice evidence, wicks, rejection, there could be some nice longs there later on. But yeah, still a way away from that level, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully that can speed up. But okay, yeah, we'll go through a couple of yen pairs as well. As I said, I'm still currently short on CAD yen. We did see some nice continuation this morning. I'm still looking for corrections here, and that's really where my main focus is. Really, with the yen pairs, looking for pullbacks and more downside. It's only difficult because I'm trying to look for some bigger pullbacks. Not too sure if we'll see them, but that's a part of the plan. So I'll wait to see if we can get them. But I'm looking at some corrective pullbacks. Hopefully, a retest of this area or around that area. Looking for a lower high, and again looking for a swing back to the lows. 103 really. That's what I'm looking to take CAD yen. My stop loss is still trailed above the high there. Like I said, I'm not going to be too aggressive with trading stops with this position. Normally, I probably would have my stop loss trailed above the high here. But because I'm pretty confident in the swing, high time frames look really, really good. If I go to the weekly chart, look at the weekly candle closure we're about to get. If everything stays similar to how we're looking now, we're about to see a very, very, very convincing bearish candle here, at least on CAD yen. Haven't looked at the other yen pairs. We'll take a look in a second, but CAD yen giving us a very strong bearish engulfing candle. Momentum is completely shifted to the bears here. And if I do drag this resistance level across, you can see price has really just come into that level, a few wicks into it, and it's rejected it very heavily. So a push back down to 103, at least a push down to 105 into this area here looks very, very likely in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So that's why I'm giving the trade a lot of room to wiggle and potentially pull back, because probability is very much with the bears here. Other trades I'll be aggressive with, like the silver trade I was in last week. Actually, no, I got taken out this week for that one. Silver trade I was in this week. I was trading stops a bit more aggressively there, especially the Euro USD before. Euro USD before the US elections too. But in this case, I want to give it the freedom it needs to breathe. So hopefully I can find that pullback. If price keeps falling, so be it. Like I said, I still got 50% of that original position on, so I won't complain. But it would be nice to see if I can get additional trade to really take advantage of the opportunity, and that's what I'm looking at there for CAD Yen. I also really like Aussie Yen as well. Those are the two yen pairs which I really do like. They fit the plan very, very well. A lot of momentum in that bearish leg there for Aussie Yen. So I am really liking that from this currency pair. And of course, looking at the daily chart, we had a nice consolidation. Price was moving sideways here for quite a while. And now we're finally seeing the market spill out of that range and with some really nice momentum. That was the key thing I was looking for, because breakouts can be very effective way to look for momentum and take trades. And they also can be, very difficult to work with, especially with a lot of fake outs as well. But momentum is the key thing. If you can see a solid breakout for a lot of momentum, most of the time those tend to be the actual moves, and they tend to play out very well. If price breaks out of range very correctively or very slowly, those are more prone to fake outs and not really ones you want to take. But this one's really just dropped heavy, and I'm expecting a lot more downside, eventually back down to the low here, where we had that massive wick. I think price is likely going to get all the way back down there at some point. So the plan is to find some pullbacks on the way down. And we've still got a long way to go. If I measure the current price to where we're wanting price to go to, still another 400 pips to the downside. So, hopefully we can get some pullbacks some point in time before we get there. I still really like the retest opportunity. If price was to come back and give me a retest of the range, I think that's looking less and less likely now. But if we get there, I will be ready and waiting. So something like this will be very nice. With Aussie Yen, looking for that next lower high. One over there, second over there, hopefully a third. Catch the shorts, and away we go. At least the push back to the low, but again, I'll be looking at a lot further than that. So yeah, I'm very, very bearish on the yen pairs, looking at a lot of yen strength. And the idea does stem from that massive drop in July. Huge drop there. That to me looks like a top for a lot of these yen pairs. So now I'm expecting the bullish move we've seen over the past few months from that is likely going to be a continuation of that bearish move. So expecting us to get back to those lows and probably break through them too. So it's just to see if we can get some decent pullbacks along the way now. But yeah, I think the yen pairs look really good. So that's going to be my focus from now to the end of the year, at least on the yen pairs. Of course, USD moments, USD trades will come and go. I like some of the CAD pairs as well. I'll go through them as well. But the yen pairs, momentum looks good. So it's just pullbacks and then more downside. Ben, you're short oil. Okay, we'll take a look. Don't think it'll hit until next year. That is a lot of patience there, Pavinator. But yeah, it might not do that, to be fair. It might not do that till next year. Yeah, I mean, that's why I do look at multiple markets, because at the end of the day, you want to take good trades, and sometimes good trades take a while to develop. So looking at different markets means that, okay, if Aussie dollar is going to take a while to develop, maybe Euro CAD or Euro USD is going to give me a trade in the next few days. So that's where my attention is going to be focused, and Aussie dollar can take as long as it wants to develop. So yeah, that's why I do trade a wide range of markets. But yeah, it might take a while still. Morning, Lauder. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome. Regina, welcome to the stream. Really learning here. That's great. Happy to hear that. Steza, I hope you're doing good. Please go through pound CAD. Yes, I will take a look at pound CAD. I do like what I'm seeing with the CAD pairs, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of downside. Very much agreeing with that statement there, Will. Just adding the positions now and pullbacks. Yeah, I think that's the plan, really. That is the plan, at least my plan anyway, with the yen pairs. Just look to add the pullbacks. Of course, nothing's guaranteed. Big disclaimer, nothing's guaranteed, but how everything's setting up on the higher time frames, it does really look like that big drop in July is a top for a lot of these yen pairs. So I do think a bit of a bearish trend is now going to fall. probably come back to these lows here as well. So yeah, very, very bearish on the yen pairs. Just about timing the pullbacks well and riding that momentum. But the thing with the yen pairs, we might just plummet. Maybe not as aggressive as that, but we might see some similar momentum. So the pullbacks might be hard to come by. But yeah, we'll see as things develop. Anyway, I'll go through oil and we'll take a look at some CAD pairs as well. So oil, Ben, you said you're short on oil from 63, 68.34, 68.34. Okay, it's pretty much just above current price. Target 67.54. Okay, so you're not looking for anything crazy with oil right now. 67.54, it's around there-ish. Stop loss 69. So 69 just there. Okay, so you're not looking for anything big here. Okay, yeah, 1 to 2 risk reward. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a smaller risk reward trade. It's, you know, the key thing you're looking at is your average risk reward. You know, if you average risk reward is, you know, above a 1-to-1 really, then you're in a good place. But you know, doesn't mean every trade has to be, you know, a phenomenal risk reward. Some will be great, some will not be as great. If your average is healthy, then you're good to go. But yeah, in terms of the oil position, things are looking pretty bearish, and that's good for me as well because it means CAD will be weak. Yeah, with oil, it looks, I mean, it looks like we're slowly getting ready for a move down. As I've said, as of late, I do like the 72 level, which price did not go and test, which was this level here. So I said this looks like a really nice place to short oil from again. Price has respected it very well on numerous occasions. So it would be nice to see price make its way back there again. And then we can look to short it again, but it doesn't look like price has got enough juice to get there. So in terms of current momentum, things are looking good. I mean, we are forming successive lower highs. So it looks like we're slowly getting ready for a push down, especially with that drop there as well. So yeah, in terms of momentum, because it looks like that's kind of what you're looking for. We've had some nice drops. Prices broke through some lows. So expecting that momentum to continue. Really strong close down the 4-hour chart as well. So the idea of the trade is that you don't want to be seeing momentum in the opposite direction, especially not breaking the highs as well. Hence why your stop is in that area. Then you're looking for another push back into the lows. So yeah, in terms of momentum, if we are going to see that continuation, there's a good chance we will probably push down. Not my favorite location for a short. You know, I like being up high or down low, especially in conditions like this. So it's not a trade I will take. But in terms of momentum, if that does keep up, there's a good chance we can spill over there as well, especially with the lower highs. So yeah, hopefully we can see that oil down move. I mean, 72 was the area I was looking for price to get to, but didn't quite make that happen. So yeah, maybe we're just going to roll over now and not see that retest. It does look like we are seeing some bearish momentum here. So if that can keep up, should be looking good for you, Ben. We'll go take a look at pound CAD. So yeah, in terms of pound CAD, I like this one to the downside as well. Of course, really big drop to the downside the past few days. And then a couple days, we've been seeing a lot of upside momentum. I am looking for a lower high. We had a really nice double top here. We went and broke through, you know, this low here as well. So now I'm looking for price to basically have a correction of this impulse and then see a nice little sell to the downside. So that is the plan with pound CAD. In terms of finding some shorts, I'm not quite ready to short the market yet. I'm wanting for a little bit more development. Maybe we might see a bit of a move down now because that's a really strong close there on the 4-hour chart. As you can see, really big wick to the upside, strong close. Probably will see a bit of a push down. I'm looking for a deeper correction, and then I'm looking to try and short on around this area, which is retesting some of these lows here. So that's the trade idea I'm looking for. Slightly more complex pullback, and hopefully find some shorts in that area around 1.7847. 784. Of course, it does depend how everything does set up, really, but that's kind of the area I'm looking to take some shorts from. See if you can catch that first lower high, because that's your equal highs there. That's your break of structure. Now looking at the lower high, and if I do whip out the Fibonacci, probably lines up with the 0. Well, close to the 0.618, but we'll see. Maybe we spike into it for a big wick, but that will be the area which I'm interested in shorting. So yeah, pound CAD, I really like it to the downside. There could be a short-term move to the downside. I'm not quite sold that we're about to plummet here, especially because we had such a big V-shaped pattern here as well. So it tells me that price might probably see a deeper pullback than once expected. And then we might see the continuation as well. So might see a push down for maybe a couple of days or so. If that's what you're looking for, could be a nice opportunity for that. But I think we'll probably get one more push up first before we do see the continuation of that move. So that's kind of what I'm still interested in with pound CAD. But I do really like the pair. It's a similar opportunity in EuroCAD as well. Kwame, New Zealand yen looking very bearish on the weekly chart. I bet it is seeing some downside across the board for the yen pairs. Would you look at that? Very strong. Yeah, this one's looking bearish as well. Looks like we just formed another top here. So strong move down, pull back, forming a high. And yeah, we could be seeing price go and continue right back to this area here and possibly further as well. So to me, it looks like a no-brainer to be shorting the yen pairs now on some pullbacks, not in terms of the current price, because you already had some big drops, of course. New Zealand yen's probably a little bit stretched now. I mean, we could still keep falling, but in terms of finding entries to get involved, do you want to see some pullbacks now for New Zealand yen? But in terms of direction, it looks pretty straightforward here. Strong consolidation, prices put that to bed. Now it's time to be finding your corrections and continuations. Excuse me. So that's very much the plan with these yen pairs. Imagine you were like we're trading at support. If we can break the support, then we should push. Yes, I mean, similar to your pound CAD trade that you took last week in terms of price is at support. Momentum looks like it's coming very strong into that level. And if price does break through that level, you're probably going to see a nice flush of that support. But again, there's more than one way to trade, more than one way to to get involved in the markets and take opportunities. Some have their preferences. Like for me, if I'm going to take a trade here, it'll be around these parts here. But that's the way I look to trade. Other people looking to gauge momentum. Other people looking to try and gauge breakouts as well. So there's more than one way to trade, but the key thing is being consistent and good at it. Whatever way you're looking to trade, be very good at the way you're looking to trade. That's the only thing the market's going to ask from you. But yeah, if momentum does break the support, we're likely going to see a flush of that. And like I said, the same thing with pound CAD last week. Price was trading to that support, and then eventually price did actually have a really big break to the downside. But yeah, pound CAD I really like the look of, and euro CAD I like the look of as well for some shorts too. We've had a really big correction for both of them. I like the way we broke through the low here too with euro CAD. Of course, you've got a big level of support in this area here, resistance over there, support, 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 support. So I do think there's a bit more upside for both euro CAD and pound CAD before they get their sells. Again, basically, I'm looking for the continuation of this move. Got the high over there, got the low over there. So I'm looking for sells in this area, 0.5, 0.618. This is where I do want to see that next high from. But because of the way the market retraced, you can see a really big sell to the downside, big sell back up again. This is a very textbook V-shaped pattern, which normally does mean more upside. So instead of looking to short here, which is a little bit too early for me anyway, maybe the price does sell off, but it's not what I'm interested in. I'm looking for a little bit more upside. And of course, two birds, one stone. We'll come back for the retest of these areas here too. And maybe up there we can find some nice shorts to take price back down. But we'll see. Euro CAD, pound CAD, pretty much the same trade here. I think pound CAD looks slightly a little bit better, mainly because it's coming after a really nice trend. Euro CAD's a bit more consolidation, as we can see if we zoom out. But if I go to pound CAD, we had a really nice trend to the upside, which looks like it's finally breaking out of that. We had this long-term trend line, which price is broken as well. So I kind of like pound CAD because it's a bit more of a trending market. But we'll see. Maybe the entry looks a bit better in Euro CAD, so I might take that one. But yeah, looking for a bit more upside for these CAD pairs. and then hopefully some sales later on. Like I said, we might still see a short maybe for a day or two, but I would wait for that to happen. Yeah, exactly. Just banking momentum, breaking support, and a quick move once it's done. Yeah, I mean, again, that's the key fundamental idea with the trade. You're looking for momentum to continue. If momentum doesn't continue, the trade, the trade is probably not going to play out. And every trade will have that fundamental idea. If you're shorting at the high of the range, you're looking for the high of the range to hold. If you're buying a breakout, you're expecting momentum to continue through the move. Mean reversion, you're looking to sell price back to a mean. If you're trend following, you're looking for price to continue the trend. So you always have that original idea of what the market's going to do. You manage your risk, maximize your reward, and you let the probability play out as long as you're taking quality opportunities. That's the aim of the game. Ahmed, okay, we'll have a look at dollar yen as well. And in fact, we'll probably just go through the rest of the yen pairs. And yeah, see what's cooking. I mean, across the board, the yen pairs look really good. I mean, dollar yen momentum here, the breakout looks good. The only thing I don't like about dollar yen, which I was touching on yesterday, is where we're trading because this is a massive weekly level resistance. Now, if the yen pairs are truly going to sell off, it doesn't really matter though at resistance here. I mean, at support, sorry, because price is probably going to break through. If all the yen pairs drop, dollar yen's likely going to drop with them too. So if we can see momentum maybe continue a little bit further and we see price close like this strongly below it this week, that would be a really nice sign that, okay, this is probably a bit of a fake out here. And now price is going to get ready for that big sell, looking for corrections the following week and then the shorts, the few weeks after. So dollar yen could be onto something really big here if we do get back below this 150 region. At the moment, it's still acting as support, and at the moment, that candle hasn't closed yet, so it could still pull back, leave behind a pretty big wick, or maybe go and push down. We'll find out by the end of the day. I will do my weekly analysis on the weekend as always. But what I can say in terms of the intra-week, intra-day time frames is that we've definitely left behind this bullish trend here. We had higher highs and higher lows. Market was pretty consistent at that. We've finally broken through that with a lot of momentum. So what I can say is that if we do have a nice correction, we probably will see some nice downside. Now, whether we go and break through that weekly support or bounce through it, that's a different question. But there's still probably meat in the move and still a decent risk reward opportunity, even if we do bounce that weekly level of support. And if we don't, it could be a really massive sell. So it could be one to trail stops at. But as I said yesterday, this is the area I'm interested in for dollar yen. We had another big push down this morning, so it looks a little bit less likely that we do see the retracement to get there, but I still think it's a fantastic area to short from. You got the prior lower highs, 1, 2, looking for the next one. Of course, breaking the low there, breaking the trend line. We've broken through this swing low. We've broken through this swing low here. These were key swing lows that gave us really strong moves to the upside. And this one, of course, gave us our last higher high. Price is now broken through that. So that bullish structure is completely invalidated. We broke through the trend line a while ago. And the key thing is we did it with momentum. We didn't do it slowly. We didn't do it correctively. Market really did it with force. So we're likely going to see corrections and continuations of that move. And pullbacks like this look really, really good to get involved with. So yeah, going forward with dollar yen, expecting a lot more downside because I do expect the yen pairs just to fall in sync together. So I do think we'll eventually see dollar yen really collapse. But in terms of the opportunity, 153.5 looks good. Again, we might not see that bigger pullback there. So maybe looking at some of these areas could be a bit more realistic, especially if the market's really going to drop. Yeah, pull back to this area, 151.385. You can see this is where we consolidated for a few hours before a strong drop. So this is definitely an area where some sellers are sitting at. So you might see a smaller pullback, retest that area. Probably want to drop to maybe the hourly or the 30-minute for some entries and take some shorts there. But if you're looking for that juicier pullback, that bigger pullback, then this is kind of the area of focus, which I would look for. Yeah, but it's just the big if we'll get there or not. But other than that, really nice opportunity on dollar yen. So keep a close eye. It might bounce as we approach the low here, as the high there. Sorry, it didn't quite get there. So that's maybe where we'll pull back from, but overall, expecting us to continue falling. Okay, set up for Monday or late tonight. Okay. Are you looking, is there a certain area you're looking for price to pull back, William, or is it just like a pattern you're looking for to form? And it doesn't really matter too much about the area. But yeah, I think dollar yen looks really good. I know you're still in euro yen, I think. So yeah, euro yen's probably gonna keep pushing as well. Especially if you've got euro yen to break even, there's no risk on the table. So if you do get into another yen pair, it's not like you're overexposed in yen. If euro yen does pull back, worst case scenario, you're taking out break even, and of course you would take the loss in the new position. Um, Similar situation with me with CAD yen, which is why if Aussie yen does give me the retracement I'm looking for, I'll happily get involved with that one too. But yeah, euro yen pushed down really nicely, but we're not too far away from your target. I'm pretty sure you said 156 was your target, and we're not too far away from that. So we could actually see that happen maybe early next week. But it's been a really impressive move for euro yen. Euro has been one of the weaker currencies over the past couple of weeks, so that's why euro yen has really fallen. But again, the price action from the weekly chart really just sets the standard. Really, as you can see, lovely head and shoulder pattern, left over there, head, right shoulder. Market rejects it very well. Really nice shooting star pattern a couple of weeks ago. Another retest last week, and then this week we just seen the momentum drop. So I'll expect next week to see more of the same, more momentum and a push back into the lows here, which is around 155. So that's kind of where I'm expecting euro yen to end up. So if you are looking at trading euro yen, you're basically just looking at the pullbacks there and riding that momentum to the downside. And I do think we'll actually see the break of these lows here. These are just the next big levels I expect euro yen to get to and the yen pairs to get to. But in truth, I do think we'll probably break through them and leave them in the dust, really, because I'm looking at the monthly chart and I'm looking at where we're trading. Oh, that reminds me, I'm about to get the monthly candle closure. Um, yeah, because it's the first and Sunday. Just forgot about that. So yeah, you need to keep an eye on the monthly candles too, especially on the end pairs. And look at that; that is a beautiful candle because last month, October, we closed pretty bullish. It looked like momentum was shifting, but then this candle just completely invalidated that, and now it looks like we're gonna get a pretty strong close to the downside. So yeah, if we can close like this, that is confirming momentum is back with the bears, and we probably will push back to the lows and probably will break through them as well. And if I just zoom out in terms of where we're trading, you can see we come back into a major swing high on the left here. Again, I know we're not trading the monthly charts, but it's nice to know where we're trading at and where the bigger move could be. You can see last time we just about swept the highs. What happened? Really big sell-off. Just about swept the highs there again. What could happen? Potentially another big sell-off as well. Again, not necessarily looking for a move like that, but a move back to the high here looks very reasonable. So a push back to 149, 148 is kind of where I'm expecting euro yen to get to, and maybe a lot further as well. But I'm liking how that monthly candle is about to close. So yeah, we're about to get the monthly candle closure. Completely forgot about that. So yeah, momentum is back with the bears really. So dropping to the 4 hour chart. If you can get some pullbacks, I mean, if you're going to be aggressive with this one, which is not the worst idea in the world, getting some pullbacks back to this area looks good. Brief consolidation there. This is the hourly chart. Brief consolidation there before a big strong move down. If you can see a pullback to this area, could be a nice place for additional entries and a push down from 160 and just ride that momentum, as long as we see the consistent low lows and lower highs. From a 4 hour perspective, I would like a bigger pullback, probably to retest the low here. Because if I do whip out Fibonacci from the last major high to the current low, yeah, that's where I've got my 0.5. That's where I've got my 0.618 as well. So those are really the areas which I want to sell from on the time frames I'm looking to trade. But in terms of a bit more intraday, that's probably the opportunity you're looking at there. 151.5, a nice area. Okay, that's for dollar yen. Let me have a quick look at that. 151.5. 151.5. Okay, so basically that area mapped out. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we might see that. I think it's a bit of a stretch for us to see it today because it's ready. London session is already coming to a not to a close, but we've already seen the bulk of London happen. So now it's coming into New York. I don't think we've got any major USD or yen news for the rest of the day. I'll double check that. So it's yeah, I don't know where the momentum will come from. So probably you might be waiting till next week for the trade. Um, yeah, probably wait until next week for the trade. But yeah, I like the area. It looks pretty good. And hopefully you can see some pullbacks there and get some shorts. And yeah, I expect another drop to the downside. Like I said, it does have that weekly level, so I want to see that broken. But let me have a look at some of these monthly candle closures. So okay, that's interesting because on the weekly chart, let me just clear my drawings there. On the weekly chart, price actually broke through that, but on the monthly chart, it's just leaving behind a big wick as well. So in terms of gauging fake outs, one trick is to look at the time frame above. So for example, if you got a level in the market and price closes above it on the hourly chart, so it looks like a breakout, but then you scale to the full hour and it just leaves behind the wick. Normally that's a big sign that the 1 hour breakout was a fake out, and we're likely going to see rejection. So even though the weekly chart had a very strong close above, or not very strong close, it did get above, but now we're seeing price come straight back in, and we're seeing the monthly charts leave a big wick. This looks to me that this level is still intact, and we're probably going to see a continuation right back to the lows here. And of course, you got your head and shoulder pattern, your left, your head, and your right shoulder. And now again, you're looking for a push into the neckline there. So things are looking really bearish, I must say, for dollar yen as well, especially with this weekly candle here. CAD yen, how we're looking on the monthly chart. Okay, nothing crazy. I do like the wicks to the upside, essentially saying, rejecting that level very well, very well. So that is a nice indication. Not really showing too much momentum, other than the wick rejection, which is good, but nothing too crazy compared to dollar yen or euro yen. How we're looking in pound yen. Okay, pound yen is looking very good. Pound yen, this is actually looking like a spitting image actually of what we did last time. Like it's almost identical. It's crazy. History really does repeat itself. Look what happened here. This was back in 2008, but we swept the high here on the monthly time frame, had a really strong move down, left behind some wicks, pushed up, and then had a strong close. If you look to what's happening now, swept the high there again, which is what we did over there. So swept the high, came back down very strongly, came back down pretty strongly, left behind some wicks there, left behind some wicks there too. Strong close to the upside, and then a strong close back down. Strong close to the upside, strong close back down. That's crazy. It's literally carbon copy of what happened last time, almost to the candle. So that is crazy. But yeah, the pattern looks like it's in full flow. If we are gonna have a sell like this, it could be a really really big sell. And again, not necessarily expecting a move like that because that was 2008 and that was a really big kind of crisis. Although maybe we'll do another one, touch wood. But in terms of at least the price action, it looks like we're about to get a really big sell here. So a really nice close there, probably in the next 11 hours. So dropping down to the weekly chart here, we're probably going to see pound yen make a move back down to the lows here. And probably a lot further as well if we're going to see what happened back then. So yeah, if that's the case, then dropping down to 4 hour charts, your hourly charts, you're just looking for pullbacks really. Once you get a good read in the higher time frames, then it's just becomes a game just to short on the pullbacks, nothing more than that. So In terms of a nice intra-day trade, you're probably looking at pullbacks to this area, nice consolidation, big drop to the downside. Retest of that area looks like a really nice short. If you're looking for your bigger pullbacks, then it's a bit more tricky with this one, but I like the low here. It's not as clear cut as some of the other yen pairs, but if I do whip out the Fibonacci from the high to the low, yeah, almost lining up with the 50. We might continue a little bit further down, so probably would do a better job. But that area there looks a little bit better, 194. And again, just looking for that next lower high and another big short to the downside. So yeah, in terms of the higher time frames, it does look like we're in for a really big move here. If we were going to do what we did in 2008, that would be a crazy move, but I'm definitely not saying GJ is going to zero, but it's looking like it's going to absolutely tank. Because literally the price action is literally a spitting image of what we did over there. Like it's almost like surreal. But yeah, maybe we push down to 120. Maybe we push down to 120. Maybe. All right, Will, take care, my man. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next stream, which will be on Monday. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to like and sub. Appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It does really help out. I do appreciate everyone who has liked the stream so far. If you find it useful, educational, informative, show some love. It does really help out. And of course, hit the bell whilst you're at it as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, really do appreciate that. So yeah, the yen pairs is going to be the focus for the next few months. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was thinking probably for the end of the year that'll be the focus, but I think for the next at least 6 months, really, just looking to short them on good pullbacks. Yeah, and hopefully I'll let my CAD yen trade do its thing as well. Now I'm wishing I just held on to it with a full position, but trade management is you always know what you should have done after the trade is over, so you can't really be too upset as long as you made the correct decisions at the time in terms of it made sense to. It made sense to make this trade for the long run, but it also did make sense to close some profit at this low, because at the time I was taking the trade, the market was still pushing to the upside, still pushing up. CAD was still pretty strong at the time as well. We're still seeing consistent higher highs and higher lows. So the short was a bit more aggressive because I was looking to call the top essentially. But because it was so corrective, I did anticipate this channel, this correction to end. But very much it could have come back into the low and continued a little bit further as well. So that's why I did secure the profit there. Then I also made sure I do leave some run, because I know that the downside is really a lot of downside opportunity here as well. So yeah, hopefully you can get some pullbacks and get some additional entries. Okay, I'll go through some other pairs. Emirates, we'll take a look at Euro Aussie, no problem. Emmanuel, we'll look at Pound NZD as well. Not my favorite markets at this moment in time, but we will show some respect and we'll go through those markets. Okay, you're in a trade there. On daily time frame, not a day trade. Okay, you're trading the day, the daily candle. Anyway, yeah, we'll take a look at them. We'll go through Euro Aussie as well. No problem, Regina. Happy to help. Yeah, a big move does look like it's coming. I'm not gonna lie. Not too bad. I mean, I haven't taken any new positions this week. I've only just been trading CAD yen and silver. I did get trailed out at break even on my silver position, but it was a small win because I did take profits along the way. So it ended up being a win. But price did come back down against me. But yeah, CAD yen's in full flow. I have secured some profit as well with this one too. Have secured some profit with this one too, but I'm letting it trail and hopefully we can get it back down to 105, 103 really. I'm going to be very, very conservative with my stop loss. I'm not going to be aggressive at all. It's still above the high here. As I said earlier in the stream, normally I would trade it above the high here because now we create more structure. But I'm really, really confident that we can really keep pushing. So I'm going to try and keep it here as long as possible until I should really move it. But yeah, I'm still looking to see if I can find some additional entries, but I haven't actually taken any new trades this week. Yeah, my main focus is with the yen pairs now. No way, never used to trade much yen, but now it's your favorite currency to trade. Yeah, I like the yen pairs. They do have a lot of. They're like the majors, but on like steroids, really, because they are pretty smooth, especially like pound yen, CAD yen, dollar yen, euro yen. They are pretty smooth in terms of the price actions, not too crazy, not too many wicks. But they're just faster and they hit heavier than the majors on average. So it's like the major currency pairs like your Euro USD, your Pound USD, but just yeah, just they're just taking something. That's all. Rocking the markets, we were rocking the turkey. Yeah, true, true. The interventions can be a little bit annoying. I mean, they can be great as well if they're in your direction, you're in a trade, but of course they can be a little bit scary if they're going against you because it happens so quickly and unexpected as well. But let me go through Euro, Aussie, and Euro, and Pound NZD. Yeah, I mean that's one of the downside of the yen pairs. But you know, all markets will have their times where they do have erratic, chaotic behaviors. Yen pairs a bit more so, especially than the USD pairs. But you know, that could be a bonus, that could be a benefit. You could look at that as a positive because if you catch it right, you could be seeing some really nice, healthy risk reward trades. You know, if you take the same trade on like a pound USD versus a pound yen, you always going to expect pound yen to give you more pips, more profits, because you expect the move to be further and bigger. Of course, if you don't manage your risk correctly, you'll take bigger losses as well. Um, but you do expect pound yen to go further, so it can be a bonus, really. In terms of Euro Aussie, yeah, not my favorite pair at all. Not a market which I'm looking to trade. You know, look how correct that is, and look at how the yen pairs were looking. So much clarity with the yen pairs, but here I have no idea. I mean, I do have a rough idea. I'm looking for price to break to the downside eventually. I do think a nice bearish trend is going to form, but we're still a while away from that. We still have support which we haven't cracked yet. So this one's still in the works. I do think something like this is going to happen. So I do think another big move is going to happen on these crosses. It's just kind of taking its time, but it's not quite there yet. So as we do approach resistance around here, I think this is a nice place for a short. If we can push back to the high here, this is where we had some nice rejections. One, two. If we can push there again, I think that's a nice place for another sell. The market's still pretty consistent with all the lower highs, essentially looking for the next one for the next drop. So Euro Aussie, this is what I would be looking for if I had to trade the pair, but um, luckily I don't. So I won't be looking for that. But in terms of a smart place, with a smart place for a stop loss as well, this is where we're looking for those entries there for Euro Aussie, around 1.633. At least over here, you're away from the noise. You can put a stop loss in a steady place. And the risk reward looks pretty good if you can get it back down into the low there, around 1.605. So Euro Aussie shorts look good. Pound NZD, you said you're in a, do you say what direction? Okay, you're selling the pair on the day. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not biggest fan of selling pound NZD, especially on the daily chart, because we still do have bullish structure at play, higher highs and higher lows. I think eventually the market is going to get ready for a big drop as well. Yeah, scale to the higher time frames, the weekly chart as well. Actually, I guess the monthly chart even better. You see where we're trading, we're back at a major high here as well. So I do think as price, comes into these areas, probably going to go for a big sell-off here. We had a really big drop here. And the market's having a very slow correction. So the expectation is a big drop to the downside, really, a continuation of that move. So as we approach these areas, I do think a big sell is likely, but I want to see structure being broken first, which we haven't really seen all year. The market's still being on a slow grind to the upside and still pushing higher. So for me, on pound net ends on the daily chart, I actually quite like the buys here. As we come back into retest the high, retest the trend line, with these consistent higher lows, I actually do like this area for a buy around 2.125. Again, not to potentially take it all the way back to the highs, although um, that could be the case. But like I said, I do think the bigger move is down. But I think this could be a nice place for a short-term buy for a few days, some healthy profits, 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s maybe, and you can call it a day. And then maybe eventually we do see that big break and price does fall over. But for now, this is still a nice bullish area of confluence. We're being so corrective on the way down. So it tells me there's not a lot of momentum in the market yet. It's not like we're seeing heavy candles pushing down. So I do think we'll probably likely get the bounce anyway. If you're short at the moment on the daily chart, we still might see that move. But I would be careful as we do approach the 2.12, 2.13 areas. Where's your target for the trades, Emmanuel? How far are you looking to take that short on the daily? Is it more like a scalp of the daily time frame, or are you looking for a bigger swing? Yeah, exactly. If you're short, and then interventions come in, it's in your favor. You're laughing, and that's why the shorts are pretty attractive with the yen pairs because they're normally heavy hitting, and the only negative side is the swap cost, which is yeah, something I've been experiencing with CAD yen. But I can't complain too much because I'm expecting the profits to keep pushing back to the lows, and if we do get there, I just look at it as a price to pay for holding the trade, really, which yeah is a bit annoying because it can be a bit heavy, especially on Wednesday. But it's a part of the game. I don't decide the rules. I just play the game here. But yeah, pound NZD, that's kind of what I would be looking at. I'm not a big fan of the crosses, I must say. I do like some of the CAD pairs. I think my 90% of my focus would be on yen pairs, but I do like pound CAD, as I mentioned earlier. Pullbacks for that one, some shorts too. And the reason I like it is because we had such a strong push down. When I'm looking for pullbacks, I'm looking for strength in the impulsive moves. And I also like it when we break structure too. That's exactly what price did here too. So pullbacks look good. I still like New Zealand CAD shorts and Aussie CAD shorts too. Um, it's not as good of an opportunity, and I'd probably just give it a miss, especially if a nice trade in the yen pair pulls up. There's no point to try and trade everything. Just focus on the best pairs. But I still do think New Zealand CAD's got some momentum to the downside. I'm not convinced about this bullish channel here at all and this bullish structure. I do think we're going to see a move like that pretty soon. So I was looking for price to stay below the channel here and break the low and continue, but it looks like we've climbed back inside the range. So it's a bit awkward. I still think there's a nice short to be had, though. We've got the consistent lower highs here, 1, 2. I'm still looking for a third. I think if we can push through the high here, see a nice rejection, it could be a nice short slowly forming, something like that, taking the short there, and possibly you might see a nice swing back to the low. The only reason why I probably wouldn't take this trade is because of the daily trend line. Um, price is still just about respecting it. Even though we broke through it last week, we're now back above it. So this could just be potentially a big fake out for price to continue higher. So it's not the best place to short the market. If this was higher up or we haven't tested the trend line yet, that'd be a really good trade. But because we have tested the trend line and we have pinched it a little bit, now we're back above, it does lower the quality of the trade quite a lot. So I'll probably stay away, and pound CAD looks better anyway. And it's a similar trade. And same thing with Aussie CAD as well. I do like the shorts with this one, but we're still just about hugging to the trend line here. So even though I wouldn't mind some shorts with this one, we've got a lovely lower high there, which gave us a lower low. If price was to push to the upside, something like this, I expect a lower high to form. Another continuation of what we've been seeing, and looking for some shorts in this area look good. But again, does it make sense to be shorting there as we do approach the low of the trend line too? Probably not. And again, it could still potentially work out and still be a wonderful trade. And there's always going to be something wrong with a trade. There's always going to be something that will put you off a trade potentially. But yeah, the location isn't great. If this setup could just be below the trend line, so over here, that would be great because you'd be expecting price to continue down, same as the CAD. But yeah, it does lower the quality. But pound CAD, like I said, this has broken a trend line. So this is why this one's a lot better of an opportunity. We've cleared that trend line out of the way. So I'm now expecting a much free-flowing path to the downside. And we've got some nice levels to retest too. So this one ticks the boxes very well. And it's just a much better opportunity than Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD. So I'll just rather focus on this one. I'll keep an eye on Euro CAD just in case. But pound CAD looks a lot better. So this is the one I'll keep an eye out for. And then New Zealand CHF, I still do like the longs here. So I'm going to wait to see if we can retrace back to the entry. I think I might have missed the trade with New Zealand CHF, annoyingly. But again, in terms of the location, it's just in a really nice place where, didn't mean to do that. It's just in a really nice place where I do expect the bounce to happen. The key thing as well is that we're forming a lot of wicks here to the downside too. So that's a key sign for me. That's a really key sign. It looks like the market is had multiple attempts to try and break through. And apart from this candle, which it did close, every time after that, it's just been a wick. And similar to what I'm doing with CADGEM, in terms of the shorts on the weekly chart, you can see all the wicks up there. When I did short, I was anticipating another wick to form, and one did form, and then we had the continuation the following week. So with New Zealand CHF, every time we push down, especially into the lows, I'm expecting another wick to form. So maybe next week we might see a strong push to the upside now, and that will be the trade in full flow. Take some profits, let the rush run, see how far we can go. Hopefully back into resistance over here, but probably a lot further as well. So yeah, unless we push back down, maybe I've missed the position there. I was looking to buy off the retest of this low, which we did see a nice indication there. So that would be the trade. But I missed the initial entry. Then I was about to find the re-entry in the same area. But we had the New Zealand interest rates coming out, I think the following day. So I decided to stay out because it looked like we're probably going to see a bearish New Zealand dollar. But we didn't. It was actually bullish. And that's the thing about news. It's 50-50, and sometimes you'd be expecting bearish, you see bullish. At least with technicals, you're just consistent with that bias. So yeah, maybe that was a mistake on my part. I don't normally do that, but because we're at the low, I expected New Zealand to be weak. So I was like, okay, I'll probably get a better price to enter anyway. So let me wait for the news, get a better entry, maybe lower down, and then maximize the risk reward. But looks like we're slowly pushing up. So I'll see if maybe we can push down one more time. We are still respecting structure so far. So maybe there is a push down. And then I can speak about some buys. But so far, nothing just yet. And you see how some of these monthly candles are going to close. Because that's going to dictate what I'm expecting for December. Let me remove my drawing so I can see it clearer. So with Euro USD, it's going to be a pretty strong bearish close, but the key thing is we're leaving a big wick. And the key thing as well, if you look at my crosshair, is that we're holding support there. So although it's a big drop and although prices saw a lot of momentum, all it's doing is just holding onto support. So there's a good chance we could see next month's candle maybe give us a bit of a wick to start off, but possibly a push to the upside. And not only is it holding onto that support level, it's actually trading on a massive level of support, which is this area here. Huge level of support. Last time we were here, we spent a few months there and we had a really big move to the upside. This to me looks like potentially a big fake out for Euro USD, and now we're coming back to retest the low. If that's the case, then we could be looking at a really big push to the upside there for Euro long term. So that is an interesting proposition there for Euro, I must say. If we do break through the low, then yeah, we're coming right back to 0.96. Probably going to see some new lows, 0.94 and beyond. But what I can say is that this month's candle isn't giving us that impression. It's come back into that zone and it's leaving behind a really big wick there. So yeah, I'll be expecting a push to the upside next month really for Euro. Might see a bit of a wick though because there's a lot of momentum, so that might spill over a little bit. But then I do expect probably us to close bullish. So longs for Euro USD do look like a nice proposition. Of course, there's more information than that in terms of buying Euro. Yes, we're holding a nice level of support, but you do want to see characteristics change in the lower time frames. As I've spoke about previously, there's possibly a nice head and shoulder pattern forming here. Haven't broke structure yet. The bullish leg is still being very corrective as well. So a lot more needs to happen in the lower time frames before finding entries, but the monthly chart does give us a nice indication that possibly we're going to see a bounce to the upside there. So you can use that as a confluence for the buys, especially if you're swing trading as well, because it means you can hold trades potentially longer too. Yeah, it does look very bullish on the higher time frames, Ben. I do agree, especially where we're trading, the level we're respecting, the big wick we just left behind this month's candle here. And that's why I love looking at the higher time frames, because they kind of just capsulize everything together. The lower time frames, we had US elections this month, we had NFP, we've had interest rate decisions, we had a lot of stuff that caused the market to move a lot. And that's all been kind of put in a nice little nutshell with this monthly candle. And all it said really is that we're still in this range here. We've seen a lot of momentum, but it's held support and it's held a very key level too. So I think there's a strong push to the upside on the cards for Euro. How do you distinguish a fake out from a break of structure? Good question. The key thing for me is wicks. Wicks will distinguish a break of structure or potentially a fake out. So if the market closed below this wick here, if it closed below that, that would be a break of structure to me. If it just wicked below and pulled back and just left behind a wick but didn't close below, then that wouldn't be a break of structure. That would be a fake out, because wicks represent an inability to sustain those prices. Wicks's price was here at one point, but it couldn't sustain that and it had to pull back. So that's what that wick tells me. We tried to break through, we tried to continue, but we failed and we pulled back. So although we've wicked below and the lower time frames, and we have got some closures, but the higher time frame is always king, which is what I said earlier. If you do see some breakup structures or breakouts in the lower time frames, scale to the higher time frames. And if it's just a wick on the higher time frame, it most likely resembles a big fake out. And you're going to see the market move in the other direction. So with Euro USD here, I'm looking at price holding onto this level and pushing up next month. How's pound USD doing? Okay, pound USD doesn't give us too much information there. Again, that's another point to look at as well, is that not every monthly candlestick or weekly candlestick or daily candlestick or whatever candlestick will give you so much information in terms of what could happen. The way I look at candlesticks, especially in the higher time frames, is in respect to key levels or key areas of structure. So, for example, if Euro USD were trading at a massive swing low here, the fact that price is just giving us a big wick, that's a really nice sign that Euro is about to turn. Pound USD, although it's probably going to turn too if Euro does, it's not really trading anything too impressive. I mean, you probably could argue this trend line here as well. So that could be a nice thing to look at, but it's no no real significant level of support and resistance. So I wouldn't be as excited with the information I'm seeing on the monthly chart here. But euro looks like a really good proposition there. Yeah, I agree as well. I agree as well. How aggressive it is too. That will give it a nice indication. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point, Ben. If price does break a low very aggressively and then straightway pushes back up the other direction, that's probably a fake out as well. That could probably give you a nice V-shaped pattern at that point. If price does break it and then slowly pushes up, then it's probably a sign that the market's getting ready to actually continue. That's a kind of a sign with what we've seen with the yen pairs, really. If I go to CAD yen, CAD yen on the daily chart, really strong impulsive move to the downside here. You know, just about breaking the lows here. And then as you can see, price has been very corrective on the way up. If price kind of shot to the upside like this instantly, then yeah, that's probably a sign that we're probably going to continue up. But it was a slow grind and it's been a nice indication that the market's falling. So that's actually a very good point as well, judging the momentum. But yeah, let me have a look at some more of the monthly candle closures. I completely forgot about the month end. Otherwise, I was spoken more about that. So pound USD looked okay. It was testing that at ascending trend line there, so that could be a nice indication that we might push. But euro looks very, very nice. Aussie dollar, I don't really have too much high hopes for these guys. So yeah, we're coming back into some healthy areas of support, but nothing crazy. It would be nice if price was wicking below this low here. For example, if price had a nice wick through there and closed above, similar to what Euro's doing, that would be a really nice indication that Aussie's about to bounce. I know we're kind of slowing down in here, but it's nothing too crazy there. New Zealand dollar, I think this one might look a little bit better actually. New Zealand, a little bit better. Didn't take out the low, but still coming back into support. So again, we might bounce the upside next month. Dollar CAD's an interesting one, actually. Dollar CAD's a very interesting one because you can see this is really strong resistance on the monthly chart. And it looks like price is left behind a big wick to the upside there. So although we did see a nice close on the weekly chart above that level, yeah, because we are pulling back pretty aggressively now. We've still got 10 hours left before the candle does close, but if we can keep pushing and just close underneath that zone, or just even close how we're looking right now, I'm not as confident that that's an actual breakout because we left behind a big wick, and I wouldn't be surprised if next month's candle is going to give us a nice bearish close like that to the downside. Maybe not that big, but we might see a strong push down. So Ben, that short opportunity you're talking about in dollar CAD might actually be coming into fruition there. Actually, that fake out you're talking about, because the monthly chart is not playing ball there. That's a huge wick. So it looks like dollar CAD could push down. Dollar CGF, this chart's gonna be probably very boring to be honest. Yeah, not interested in that one at all. How is gold and silver? I bet gold and silver just look very bullish still. So yeah, relatively still very strong. Maybe we fill the wick. Maybe we can just keep pushing. To be honest, not a lot of information there in gold apart from just still a lot of momentum. Silver, bit of a strong close down. Again, doesn't really change too much. Maybe we still see another push, but the bigger move still looks like it's to the upside. So yeah, still overall pretty bullish there. And if I go through some of the yen pairs, euro yen, we just touched on really strong push to the downside. Pound yen we looked at, very strong candle to the downside. Dollar yen we touched on that as well. Strong close. CAD yen not as strong, but nice wick to the upside. CHF JPY. Okay, looks like it's just coming back. So it saw a lot of momentum up. Now it's pushing back down. Not crazy because it's not engulfing the candle, but it's a nice sign that that momentum is failing. And CHF JPY is another one of those yen pairs which I think can actually plummet. This was the prior all-time high. Price had a massive correction before taking out the high. I think price is due another big pullback, really. So I do think CTF has got a lot of downside in store. And then if you take a quick look at New Zealand yen and Aussie yen, yeah, momentum still pushing down. Looks like we're probably going to fill the wicks there. And if I take a look at Aussie yen as well, yeah, that's a really nice close actually. Let me get rid of these drawings here. It's a really nice close. So yeah, momentum is spilling over. It could be some nice moves in December. Gold 1 minute business only. Not sure what that means. Lauder, nice. Close all trades in profit. Congrats. See you again next week. Okay, take care. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you next week. Andre, pound USD buy. Okay, I'll take a look. I'll take a look at pound USD, and I'll go through silver as well, and then I'll go through some of the other crosses like CHF pairs. I want to see how they're looking on the high time frames as well. But yeah, pound USD buy. So I'm actually pretty bullish on pound. I do think a nice buy is on the cards actually. But I do want to see, a bit more upside and then hopefully a pullback shortly after, because the plan is with. Let me dim down my crosshair a little bit. So yeah, the plan now is to see. Was that too dim? There we go. Yeah, the plan now is to see a bit more upside in the pullback because I'm looking for this inverse head and shoulder pattern to form. As we said in the higher time frames, it looks like we're on that ascending channel, ascending trend line. So we're at an area where pound USD might make a higher low here and push up. So in terms of the buys, I think the buys look really good, but I wouldn't want to be buying the market just now because we've already had a strong push. We're at some resistance now on the left there, and we've just seen a really strong rejection on the 4-hour chart. Big wick to the upside. Market pulls back, closing bearish there too. So that's not really a nice place to buy or an indication to buy. So I do want to see a pullback there for pounds. 1.26195 is the area. And then hopefully we can swing this back to at least 1.285. And then maybe we might get some nice shorts there. But we will decide that closer to when we get to those areas. Excuse me. But overall, yeah, pound USD buys I do like, but I just wouldn't buy now unless you're going to have a really big stop loss. And I don't think that's necessary. So I'd wait for a bigger pullback. And then, yeah, we can probably look at some buys. And I like the shift momentum in the daily chart. Nice strong close there on Wednesday. So it's a sign momentum is starting to pick up for the buys. Okay, we'll take a look at silver next. Pop on the 15-minute chart. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, that was my previous trade I had, but I got trailed out. Is that Oanda? Yeah. So 15-minute silver. Yeah, it does look like it is going to pop there, to be fair. It's been bunching up, consolidating. Looks like it's going to break. You do like those type of trades there, Ben? The type of trade where price is starting to pick up momentum. It's got a level which has been testing maybe a few times. And it looks like it might look to break the high of that, or break the level, or break the resistance, or break the support, and then continue with that momentum. Looks like you like those type of trades. But yeah, it looks like we're probably going to see that as well, to be honest. Momentum's picked up, really strong move to the upside. Nice little pause at the high there as well. Again, not really my type of trade that I'll look to take myself. I like the pullbacks. I like going against price a little bit, in direction of the overall trend, but I like it when we push down first. But yeah, it does look like price is picking it to the upside. Few failed attempts to break down, and we might push up. But yeah, I'm not really looking to trade silver. It's looking like we're seeing some nice momentum there, but Really, I'm looking for price to break the high there at 32.3, 32.4. That's the area I'm looking for the buys. Hopefully, you can push back to 34 afterwards, but it could be a while before we see that opportunity does set up there. But overall, I think longer term we are still likely to keep pushing. So I'm really just mainly focused on finding good buy opportunities. Like I said, at the point in time now, I don't really have one, but maybe that can change um, soon. Anyway, I want to go through some of the CHF pairs. If people want me to look at certain markets, just let me know in the chat. But I'm going to go through some CHF pairs because I'm interested to see how we're looking on the higher time frames, because these have been very similar to the yen pairs actually in terms of the big drop we had in July, and that really did tank to the downside as well. So I'm wondering, because it looks like the yen pairs are going to get that big spill, are the CHF pairs going to see the same thing? So I want to see how they look on the higher time frames as well. Yeah, when we break through resistance, we absolutely pop. Yeah, I mean, I've seen those opportunities as well. Those type of setups, like I kind of get that feeling that price is going to break this resistance, especially when we've been there for a few attempts. When I'm looking to trade support and resistance, I'm always looking to take the first or second test of a level. I'm never really looking to take the third, fourth, or beyond that, because from my thinking, if a level is going to hold or an area is going to bounce, price should reject it on the first time, possibly the second. If it comes back there a third time, it's a sign that the level or the area you're trading from is not very strong. Otherwise, the market would have gone away from that area. It might bounce the third, fourth time. In terms of seeing the bigger move, the bigger push away, most likely it's not going to happen anymore. Sometimes I do take trades on the third or fourth bounce, but under specific conditions. 90% of the time, it's either the first or second bounce. But yeah, Aussie Chef, how are we looking on the monthly chart? Okay, not a lot from Aussie Chef. It's a bit of a wick to the upside. Looks like we're going to close slightly bullish, but not really giving me too much information, really. There's massive support down here. There's massive resistance above here as well. This is kind of our range. Yeah, so nothing really to take from that actually for Aussie Chef, because we're just inside a range. Even last month's candle was nice bearish close, momentum's bearish. But even with that candle, I wouldn't do anything with that because we're in the range. If this closed outside the low, so let's say it closed down here, then of course I can use that to my advantage because we're breaking out with a confirmed close on the monthly chart. But because we closed below, it's just price dancing around in the range. So yeah, any price action in the range I don't read because it doesn't really indicate much. Especially momentum as well can be very deceiving. So yeah, not a big fan of that with Aussie Chef. How are we looking on CAD Chef? Okay, CAD Chef leaving behind a bit of a wick there. Again, not a lot of information. It's a bullish engulfing candle, but it's not a strong one. Leaving behind such a big wick like that. It looks like it's about 50% of the candle now. So yeah, if a wick is 50% or more, it's not really a sign of strength anyway. It's more of a sign of rejection now. So yeah, not a lot there. I mean, I do think CAD will go for that retracement at some point because we made new all-time lows. So probably going to push up at some point. Maybe fill the wick there, but nothing high quality. Okay, can't trade silver. No, time spread's too high. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I only swing trade silver as well. Yeah, but yeah, if the spreads are not ideal, then there's no point on the low time frames. Better off just focusing on Euro USD or something like that, where spreads are tight. But yeah, CAD CHF not looking too good. I do like pound CHF, to be honest. Pound CHF is one of the CHF pairs I do like. Ooh, I did not know that actually. That big drop in July left behind a massive wick. Did not know that. That's not a good sign. It'd be nice if we did close because that kind of confirms momentum was there. The fact that we left behind a big wick is more of a sign of rejection. I mean, it could fill since we didn't take out any key lows. That's when I do expect wicks to fill when we don't take out a low. If this wick pierced the low like that, then I won't expect it to fill. But because we didn't take out the low there, it might fill. But yeah, it doesn't look as good. I mean, I'll still probably look to take the position if we do see the break of the consolidation. So if price does see a strong move down, I think the shorts still look really good. Of course, depends on the breakout, depends how impulsive we are, the pullbacks and all that jazz. You know, that will come into play. But yeah, because at that point I would expect the wick to fill then and take the shorts. But yeah, we got to break up that range first. Other than that, I'm not a big fan. Harry, dollar yen back to 140. Okay, let me have a quick look at that. Use the JPY 140. Yeah, I do think that's likely the case, Harry. I do think that's likely the case. We're getting a really impressive weekly candle close this week on dollar yen. Yeah, I've been talking about this level a lot. I said I don't really like the level because I don't like the level. I don't like the price action because price was trading above it. Because I've been pretty bearish for the yen pairs for at least a month, maybe longer now. So the fact that I saw dollar yen breaking above that area wasn't really something I wanted to see because that's more of a bullish indication. But now it looks like with this candle close, we're coming straight back below, especially with the monthly candle close. It looks like we're just leaving behind a big wick on the monthly chart. So overall, it looks like this level is holding. So essentially, to me, it looks like we're getting a big head and shoulder pattern. Your left shoulder there, your head over there, right shoulder. And of course, this being a neckline here, which is your 140 level. So if this is going to hold and be that right shoulder, we probably are going to push right back down to the low there, and maybe beyond it as well. So yeah, I think 140 for dollar yen looks pretty likely. I will still hold out to see how these weekly and daily candles close because we still do have about 10 and a half hours before they do close. Don't really have any big news events today, but we'll see. Maybe we do pull back a little bit, or maybe we do continue. But if we can close similar to how we're looking now on the monthly chart and close similar to how we're looking on the weekly chart there, then yeah, I think 140 is very, very imminent. And the plan will just be looking to take pullbacks on the way down. And the beauty of it as well is that we're not looking for a small move here. You know, a push to 140 is a very, very big move here for dollar yen. And that will take us about 1,000 pips to the downside. So there will be opportunities on pullbacks. You know, if you're not in the trades already, in the market's already selling off, you know, don't be too disheartened because the most likely will be a pullback at some point. You just have to stay on the ball, you know, because maybe we do see some heavy momentum, so we only do get smaller pullbacks, or maybe we do see a larger pullback. We'll see as time goes on, but there will most likely be opportunities on the way down, really. So, yeah, finding the pullbacks. I'm not interested in taking longs on the yen pairs at all anymore, really, unless something crazy happens, like a big break of structure, something like this, and we break the high. Of course, that would change my bias instantly, pretty much, if something like that was to happen, and I'll be looking at a push back to 162. But anything other than that, I'm only looking to fade the buys here. Price pushes up, looking to sell. Price pushes up, looking to sell. All the way back down to 140. So yeah, I do think that's the likely move. Now it's just about timing and making sure don't get into the trade too early or too late. In fact, as well, you missed the move. How is EuroCHF looking in the monthly chart? I also want to see how the CAD pairs are doing. EuroCHF, again, not a lot to take in here, apart from we just about pinched the lows. We saw some new all-time lows this month as well. I mean, altogether, we're pretty much just trading at some key levels of support. So not much to take in there apart from, you know, at some lows. Maybe we pierce the lows and make some new all-time lows. Maybe we bounce. No real strong indication, I would say, in terms of what we could see next month. I mean, if I had to bet, I probably would say a bounce because we're still holding support, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do spill through. How's pound CAD looking? Because this is one of the better CAD pairs. Okay, that is pulling back there. Um, Probably not too much where I would not look for the trade, but I would like it if we were looking a little bit more bearish. I mean, the key reason why I'm looking to shorts because we have come back into a major monthly high here, which is 1.81512. And price has respected that pretty well. And I do think now it's time to have a bit of a dip in the market. Um, this is essentially the range, equal lows here, equal highs there. This being a massive fake out. So there is a possibility pound CAD can have a really big move back down to the low here, 1.6. That is a strong possibility, but of course, I'm not looking at such a move like that. But that is a possibility there for pound CAD. But yeah, it's not the best close, I would say, but not enough to shake me off the trade because we've still got a nice weekly candles close to the downside. So although monthly chart has really confirmed momentum, weekly does. So I wouldn't still mind getting into some shorts. Could be better trade if the monthly was showing momentum too, but it does still tick my boxes. So yeah, I do like what I'm seeing there with pound CAD. Okay, we'll go through some indices. Indices look bullish. Yeah, last time I checked, they were looking pretty bullish to me. We'll go through them. Big wicks in the daily formed already. Okay, Andreas, what's up? Hope you're doing good, my man. Thoughts on JP225? Okay, we'll have a look see as well. So yeah, we'll go through a few indices, and of course we'll take a look at the Japanese index as well. So yeah, US 30 Love and Life is ready, looking very bullish on the weekly chart. Daily chart, daily chart kind of consolidating past 2-3 days there, but maybe we're getting a break of that. Sort of like a Ben opportunity there. Price has been sideways there a little bit, but it looks like it's slowly picking up momentum. Maybe we do see price go and break that to the upside now. Again, I'm generally very bullish on the indices, but I would like to see some bigger pullbacks with them at some point. Taking a look at the NAS as well. So NAS still very bullish on, still seeing consistent higher lows with this one, as we can see. But overall, I would want price to give me a bigger pullback there because NAS still looks really corrective there. This move to the upside is still very, very slow. So I don't like that aspect about NAS, especially because we had such a big drop, over here. And now we're having a corrective move. It's like we had an impulse correction, possibly might see an impulse. So that's not really the characteristics I want to be seeing with NAS, especially if I'm looking to buy it. This area here looks like a nice place for a buy. We had a bit of demand there. Price stalled for a few hours before a really big break to the upside. If we can push to the downside there, I do think that would be a really nice buy for NAS. And if I go over to S&P 500, this one trading at the highs there as well. So again, not really the place which I want to be looking to take buys as well, but maybe if my name is Ben, I'll probably looking to buy this now because it looks like momentum's picking up as well. Might see price snap through the high. But yeah, I do think the indices are bullish. Of course, overall the trend is bullish. Momentum is still bullish as well. Maybe I do want NAS to pick up a little bit more, but overall US 30 and S&P look very good. And we probably will see some new highs with them too. So yeah, if I'm looking to take them, I probably would look for some pullbacks though. But yeah, overall, I think new all-time highs, at least for S&P, looks good. I think US 30 is already at all-time highs anyway. But again, that might still push on too. So yeah, overall, still pretty bullish. Going max long on these, of course, because everyone's going max short, so you take the opposite position there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the indices. I'll go take a look at the JP225 next. Max long resistance at all-time highs. Got a life on the edge. 100%. That's literally on the edge as well. That's literally the definition of on the edge because it's the all-time high. But you wouldn't have it any other way, would you? Wouldn't have it any other way. JP225. Actually, I had a look at this one this morning. I was expecting to see a bit of a flush to the downside here, price breaking through support here, but it didn't actually. Price is only looking a tiny bit bearish today. This is the current daily candle. Drops to the 4-hour. Haven't seen much drop to the hourly. Really correct to move down, but then you got the yen pairs bleeding. Well, not really bleeding, to be honest. They did look pretty bearish early this morning, but at the moment, kind of a little bit stale. But I was expecting to see a bit of a drop there, to be honest, with the JP225, and I still think there's more to come, really, because I do think the support is probably going to break, and if it does break, that's really going to be hitting the yen pairs really hard. So I will keep a really close eye on 37,750. But that is the move I'm expecting for the Japanese index. To be honest, the break of that low and a push back down to this low here. This is kind of area of supply here, which the market has tried to break through on a few occasions, pretty much unsuccessful each time. A lot of wicks to the upside. So I do think we've seen a nice impulse correction of that move, and we're likely going to see another push back down again. So that is really what I'm looking for. Yeah, we just need to break through that support, really. And if we can, then the yen pairs are probably set to drop. Maybe we're waiting for some major yen news before that happens. Let me check next week. Okay, I was looking to see if there's any major yen news next week, but I'm not seeing any. Of course, we've got NFP. That's not really a yen news, but it probably will affect every market as it always does. But yeah, no yen major news. I thought might have like a interest rate decision for yen. Maybe that's the following week. But yeah, overall, pretty bearish on this one. So looking for a break of the low. And of course, in terms of the opportunity to trade, if that's what you're after, I'll be looking for the breaking retest of that low, because it's acted as resistance on so many occasions. So if you do see a nice clean break of that area, it's probably going to act as resistance pretty well too. So I would keep a close eye on that for a trade and some shorts back down. So yeah, that would be the thinking with JP225. Blessing. Okay, Euro and Euro Yen, no problem. We'll take a look. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you're finding it useful, helpful, informative, educational. I don't know if I already said that, but if you are enjoying the streams, guys, please be sure to drop a like. It does help out, and much appreciated for everyone who has liked the stream so far, and of course subscribe and hit the bell and all that good stuff too. But yeah, in terms of Euro USD, again trading at some very key lows. We touched on Euro USD quite a lot today because the monthly chart is looking very interesting, but it does look like price is looking like it's about to bounce on such a significant level of support. This is the monthly chart, by the way. Let's leave behind a big wick, because we are going to get the monthly candle closure. Well, not today, but it will be today because it's the 30th tomorrow, and the markets are shut tomorrow. So it's the monthly candle closure today, and it looks like we're leaving a big wick. So I think in terms of the bigger move for Euro, it's likely going to be to the upside. You can see on the daily chart as well, we're seeing momentum shift as well. Market's holding on to a key low, and there's a really nice inverse head and shoulder pattern slowly shaping up here. So in terms of opportunity to long Euro, this is really the area which I do like the buy from. Coming back into this area, I did say early in the stream it would be nice if price can break structure first, then get a pullback, and then find the buy. That would be my desired opportunity, 1.05198. It's still a little bit corrected with Euro, I must say, which I'm not a big fan of. I was hoping for the momentum to be a bit more impulsive, kind of just slowly pushing up. I mean, nonetheless, we are still holding to the level, which is the key thing. But yeah, if we can pick up momentum, maybe a strong close above, that would be really nice, and then some pullbacks afterwards. And yeah, that would be the long opportunity which I'd like to take. And then I do think, especially with what we're seeing on the monthly chart, there could be a lot of upside for Euro next month and probably for the next 6 months, to be honest. That could be the case. Um, but we'll take it one step at a time. At least December, there's a good chance of upside. And then euro yen, which completely the opposite bias. I'm looking at this one falling all the way back down to is it 155? Yeah, 155. This is what I'm looking for price to come back into 155, 154 essentially. That's where I do see price going. Again, it's textbook stuff in terms of the head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder there, head and right shoulder. Looking for us to sell off back into the low there and probably a lot further as well. Dropping down in the 4-hour chart, looking for price to tap into this area here, 159.5, looking for a big sell. And of course, I like this area here as well, 162 for a nice sell as well. So it depends what you're looking for. In terms of the intraday momentum, there is a lot of bearish momentum in the market currently. So we might not see the bigger pullbacks come there. So maybe a retest of this area is the best you'll find. And if you drop to an hourly chart, 30-minute chart, probably find some nice entries, get a decent risk reward profile up and catch a nice sell for the day or maybe for a couple of days. If you're looking for a bigger sell, trying to find the next major lower high on the 4-hour chart. And this is kind of the area I'll be looking at around the 0.5, 0.618. Testing a nice area of support will be flipped and turn resistance. So that's really where I will be focusing on personally. But as I said, because everything is still so bearish, he might not have enough energy to get there. But in terms of direction, 100% bearish on euro yen. And yeah, 155, 154 is where I do expect euro yen to end up at. But yeah, really my focus for now till the end of the year, at the very least, is going to be shorting the yen pairs. I'm going to have to be patient because, yeah, things are looking really bearish now and the market's not pulling back. So I have to wait. But hopefully I can find some pullbacks later on. Hopefully next month could start bullish, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. December starts a little bit bullish, so I retrace some of the momentum we've had at the end of November, and then maybe mid-December we start dumping. That will be best case scenario, but who knows? Okay, looking for retest 159.590 on the 50-minute. Okay, I'll take a look. Ben, okay, have a good one, man. Take care. We'll catch you next week. Have a good weekend. Okay, so yeah, euro yen. Actually, I'm on euro yen. Let me just drop to the 15. So you're looking for the retest of 159.590. Okay, so that's around the low here, basically. Yeah, just underneath that low. So yeah, I think that's a really nice place. Yeah, not too sure if I'll look for the 15-minute retest in terms of entries, but 50-minute will give you a nice refined entry and really maximize the risk to reward. But in terms of the flow, the market is very bearish, consistent low lows and lower highs. Momentum still packs a punch to the downside. So if the market does push up, we're likely going to form a low high and keep pushing down. So in terms of looking for shorts, that's most likely the correct direction to be taking. In terms of looking for an area to sell, that makes a lot of sense as well. This is where we had a brief consolidation. Price dropped to the downside. And of course, you're focusing on the low there, which is our last support before price broke through as well. So it's a nice place for a short. We broke through a lot of momentum. Have really come back for a retest yet on the 15 as well. So if we can get back up there, 159.6, that will be a nice place for a short, 100%. Whether we see a swing back to the low or not, that's a different question. But in terms of a solid location for a sell on the 15, that is definitely a nice one as well. And of course, a lot of momentum in that bearish leg, as we've seen previously. So yeah, I like it. And of course, that's the area I just mentioned on the 4-hour chart. I think if the market is just going to stay very bearish and not have those major pullbacks, then you're looking at retests of these areas for more downside. If the market is going to have a bigger pullback, then these are the areas I'll be looking for, 169,500, and just depends what the market wants to do, really. But in terms of direction, yeah, 100% only looking for shorts. Do you think we can see another big drop there with euro yen? But the yen pairs I'll focus on is, of course, CAD yen and and Aussie yen. Those are the two which I like the most. Really clean moves, of course, healthy level of support here on the 4-hour chart. We broke through that of ease. No real retest of that area, so we can see a move to the upside. We banking on that level holding, and again, in terms of the risk to reward, the potential returns are very, very high. And this is the time where you want to be a bit more aggressive with your take profits. Being a one-trick pony and just always targeting specific levels for every trade is good, and it can provide a lot of consistency in the market. But being able to kind of adapt to the scenario, the context of the market, can be a real game changer in the long run of trading. So in this situation, I'll be more aggressive with my targets, looking to not trail so aggressively as well. In other situations, when it's a bit more choppy, maybe in a range bound market in the higher time frames, I'll be a bit more conservative with my targets because I know that price might chop around more. It's probably not going to see a clean move all the way to my take profits. But in this situation, we're seeing a lot of momentum. About to see a strong close on the weekly chart to the downside here. This is the weekly candle, really strong close. So the chances are price is going to continue down. Next week, hopefully we can start the week bullish, push up for a pullback, but most likely we're going to drop. And that's our next key level. So that's where I expect price to get to. And New Zealand yen, same characteristics there as well. And of course, we're seeing that across the board really. So it's just about which yen pair will give you the best pullback really to trade. But yeah, CAD yen's looking really good. So I'll let that do its thing, do its job. Again, the key thing I wanted to see this week, I said hopefully we can see a nice strong close now to the downside because we had all of these wicks. So there's a clear sign the market was failing to push on. And every time we pushed up into this area, wick, 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 wick. And wicks are kind of a sign of market losing momentum, not having enough energy to continue that direction. So I was hoping finally we can see that shift momentum to the downside, and we did. I was not expecting it to be this big, to be honest. It's a really convincing bearish candle. So now, naturally, this is our next major area of support, which is around 105. I do think we'll get to the lows here, which is 103. So that's where I'm expecting this CAD yen to push into. And it would be very nice indeed if we can get a pullback to come back and retest this level here, so I can find some re-entries and really take advantage of the opportunity in the best way possible. But yeah, things are looking pretty bearish right now, so we might just see a pullback into this area and retest it and then sell. That might be the play as well. So if you're on an intraday time frame, that looks like pretty good opportunities there as well. The market is going to give us a bigger pullback. There looks like good opportunities there too. Just about being patient and waiting for them to arise. And then pound CADs is the other opportunity I'll keep a close eye on. I like the shorts of this one. I like it because it's not a yen pair as well, so it's kind of like a diversification, if you will, because I'm really banking heavy on the shorts on the yen pairs. But this pair is not related to that, so it's nice to have something outside that bubble, which looks like a good opportunity as well. And we had a really nice push to the downside there for pound CAD. I'm essentially just looking for the pullback of that really strong move. Now I'm looking for the pullback. This is where I'm looking to short from around 0.618. We had a really sharp retracement, really strong V-shaped retracement there. So I do think there's a bit more upside in the tank. And then I'll find my shorts afterwards. And of course, retesting such a nice level on the 4-hour chart as well. Prior support will be now turning resistance. So it ticks my box as well. Just need to be patient and hopefully can find a trade maybe next week for pound CAD. But that's really where my focus lies. Sell the yen pairs, sell pound CAD, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe I get some other opportunities on the USD pairs, maybe a nice pullback on euro, but or pound. But I'll do my analysis on the weekend, see how candles close, see how the monthly candle close. And of course, I will share my bias, my forecast for the rest of the week, next week, and probably for the rest of the year as well. So make sure you check that out. That will be out on Saturday as always. So check that out, guys. But if you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're enjoying the content here, find it useful. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Appreciate everyone who has showed some love, drop likes, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. So Really do appreciate you guys doing that. As I said at the beginning of the stream, check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that at the top of the chat and also in the description below. You can chat with other traders, chat with myself, share trading opportunities, discuss. You can find out more about the firm, Elevating Traders. And of course, you can find your discount code there for your next purchase with Elevating Traders if you are interested in doing so. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you all next week.